Welcome to the Pit Check, your metal and hardcore news for the best new albums released each week. Genuinely, we are blessed this week. Every single album is a heater, and 2 of them are guaranteed to be in my top albums of the year. And if not, then 2026 is going to be even crazier than expected, I guess, for both music and the world. But as always, make sure you subscribe to the channel because we do this every week. And let's get into my recommendations for this week's best new albums. Hardcore kids with Jane Doe shirts, this is your time to shine. The legendary metalcore band Converge is back with another masterpiece of an album, Love Is Not Enough. After 11 albums over the course of 30 plus years, Converge still somehow manages to be one of those bands that only gets better with age, or at the very least, never puts out a bad album. And yet, this is easily one of the best albums they have ever released. This is an album that is going to satisfy both long-term fans and newcomers that are just now getting into that gritty 2000s style of metalcore and hardcore. We bounce back and forth from absolutely feral aggression and hostility to these like dark and introspective and somber passages. The guitar is textured and abrasive and hits some really unique and mathy, chaotic riffs, as well as some like eerie melodies, and I love how high the bass is cranked in the mix, letting you hear every bit of these nasty driving grooves. The drummer is raw and organic and visceral and always changing things up for every single song, and the vocalist is an absolute maniac as always. I could honestly talk about this album for like a month straight, so to save you from that, I'll just say that if you like your metalcore and hardcore that feels like it's actively trying to claw out your eardrums, this has been and always will be the band for you. You've got to hear Brazilian death metal. The Brazilian underground Blackened death metal band Fossilization has released their sophomore album, Advent of Wounds. If you need some death metal that is so dark and gloomy and sludgy and just generally oppressive, this is the band for you. The goal here was apparently to dig further into the melancholic brutality of their sound, wanting to create something, quote, bleak, crushing, and claustrophobic, and yeah, they nailed it. This one is going to be for fans of Dead Congregation, Spectral Voice, Crypts, and especially Antaeus, which is, by their own admission, one of their all-time favorite bands, and given a direct nod on the opening riff of the song Disentombed, all while wanting to be even more brutal and channeling the, quote, doom-laden spirit of early Anathema, Paradise Lost, and early Catatonia. Who knew heaven was so dirty? The Baltimore hardcore punk band Angel Dust has released their latest album, Cold to the Touch. Genuinely, I cannot stop listening to this album. Even if you don't listen to punk normally, please, I'm begging you, just give this one a shot. This album is so groovy and vibey and just most importantly fun. They've got these driving bass lines and catchy like surf rock guitars mixed with hardcore chugs and riffs, and they always find this perfect blend of like chill out by the beach and deadly mosh pit. This album has so much variety in their songwriting and storytelling, never feeling recycled or half-assed, and they do a great job of like pulling the rug out from under you halfway through a song, which does make them a great band to get your friends who aren't normally into hardcore. There is just so much passion and creativity in every single song, letting every member of the band show off their unique skill set and letting them get a little weird with it, or a lot. This is an unbelievably rewarding album that only gets better and better the more you hear it. Now Kith. The doomy black metal band Worm has released their latest album, Necropalace. I love how nasty this gets. This is like black metal for slam lovers. Genuinely, there are times where this has like undeniable brutal death metal influence, with some straight up gutturals. They call themselves necromantic black doom, and that really is in full force here with the guitar work, with these dark and epic riffs and tremolo picking and a surprising amount of sick-ass solos that aren't afraid to go super down-tempo and sludgy as hell. I like how heavy they lean into these overly dramatic, gothic, and vampiric aesthetics. This is like if Nosferatu was a band. Australia do hardcore good. The Australian metallic hardcore band Guilt Trip is back with their latest EP, God Forgives. If you love that super precise staccato hardcore sound, mixed with a little bit of thrash and some of that metalcore like Polaris adjacent vibes, this EP is gonna blow out your back. This is only 3 songs, but it does sort of serve as the perfect encapsulation of the sound they've been cultivating. Catchy without being cliche, they've got aggression without being unhinged, recognizable riffs and song structures and 16th note chuggy breakdowns, but without sacrificing originality and musicianship. All in all, this is a pretty kick-ass EP, but I'm not gonna lie, it does just make me want a full length so much more. I can't mosh, I've got glass bones. The Tampa-based death metal band Glassbone has released their latest EP, Ruthless Savagery. If you love the nastiest, grittiest death metal possible, mixed with some tasteful amounts of face-mangling hardcore, you're gonna love this. This is a 6-song EP that runs about 20 minutes long, which is good because it doesn't feel rushed and it gives the songs time to breathe, especially because they love adding these super low, like knuckle-dragging riffs, and they have the maturity to let them play out and include a surprising amount of solos and harmonies. You'll literally need a neck brace because this entire EP is just one long headbanger. Minneapolis ain't f***ing around. The Minnesota-based chaotic hardcore band Giallo has released their debut album, Tenebarum. By their own admission, the goal here was to be, quote, fast and mean, and obviously drowning in the aesthetic and themes of Italian Giallo horror films. I love how heavily they've committed to this relentless aggression. This is 12 songs at only 21 minutes, so you do the math. If you're a fan of bands like Nails or Full of Hell or Wormrot, this will be right up your alley. These are two disgustingly heavy EPs you don't want to miss. Smother, The Side of Heaven. This thing is just straight up devastation. Every single song is an absolute ass beater, with features from Demeanor and Witherhoard. Honestly, I wish this was a full length. I'm just dying for more. Iron Grip, Ruins EP. This is some gritty metallic hardcore punk from New York. I love how grimy and chaotic it is, and it goes full throttle from moment one. And then if you want something a little bit softer, Dream Fatigue has released their newest album, No Requiem. This is some dreamy shoegaze, hardcore adjacent vibes. This one's probably for fans of like Fleshwater, but they want more dynamics and versatility. And here is the entire list of all of the new metal and hardcore albums that came out this week. If you have a band that has an album coming out soon, please DM me on any of my social channels. I'd love to take a listen. Or if you have some merch that's just kind of collecting dust, you can send it my way and I'll be happy to wear it on the show. And obviously, if there's anything I missed on this list or anything that I should have included, please comment it down below, or anything that I should keep an eye out for next week. Thank you again for joining me, and I'll catch you next week for next week's Best New Albums.